night camp.
Okay. At Megan's house, is that
Seriously. Did it go up on the website today, all the camps?
We've had them on since the 1st because current families can register. But then today was the first day for any previous campers. So people that just use the camps and not before and after or preschool. And then on May 3rd, it'll open up to the public.
So just your stuff at Davy and what have you, and the
Yeah, so we open Davy, Rec,
Rec.
the preschool, and Exped.
Wow. So did you resolve, I mean, there were some question marks over Exped, right? Whether the rec center was going to be involved with it. Has that been resolved?
Yeah, they were limiting it to 10 people in a group, and that includes staff. So that wasn't going to work for us.
Right.
Yeah, we were going to do 24 kids in the Exped camp plus staff because that's how many people would fit on one bus. So we even cut it even more to 20 because I think Cuyahoga Valley National Park would take 2 groups of 10. So we were able to do that. So we said, okay, with 20 plus the staff, but Kent State really wouldn't budge on the 10 person thing.
Yeah.
But we're hoping to get people from Kent State to come out maybe and talk to the kids. Outdoor recreation, just have like special guests. I think Meryl's still working on that.
Yeah, good.
So, yeah.
So Sam's going to be at his daughter's softball game. And so that means we're just waiting on Melanie and Debbie.
And Debbie had her knee surgery, so she's kind of a little bit loopy, she said, so she might be a little bit late.
Oh, when did she have that?
I want to say maybe Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was supposed to have it Monday from the last time we talked.
Yeah, she'll probably be on pain meds still. Yeah, that'll she'll be on pain meds for a week or so, I would think, at least. Well, we could go ahead and call the meeting to order. I suppose we could do that at least.
Okay.
And work on approval of the minutes. I'm guessing that Melanie is held up with something, Karen, yeah?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
Okay. All right, so let's call the meeting to order then. Karen, can you do roll call, please?
Neil,
Present.
Steve,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Kathleen.
yes.
All right. And I'm just looking at the agenda with Sam not here. We're going to finish this before Melanie gets here, but that's all right. Are we recording? We are. We're live on YouTube. All right. So I guess we should welcome anybody tuning in on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. We do need to approve the minutes of, let me make sure I get the date right, of March the 18th. Could I have a motion for the approval of the minutes, please, in a second?
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Thanks, Kathleen. In a second.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Any questions about the minutes? Concerns?
Nope.
I do have one item from the minutes that I just want to mention after we voted to approve them, but let's call the roll for the vote on the motions.
Neil,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
All right. So just the one thing that I wanted to draw everybody's attention to is item number 4 on the which segment of the minutes is that in the director's report, the master plan 2020. if you look partway down that paragraph, it says Steve would like to wait for the new director, but we could start suggesting names for the committee. What I'd request is that everybody give some thought to people who they think would be good committee members for, you know, a steering committee to oversee and advise the development of the master plan. People who are connected to the community, people who are involved and engaged in the community, and particularly in the parks and recreation aspects of the community. Above all, though, I think it's important that we bear in mind that when we pull a steering committee together, it needs to be representative of the demographics of
Hey, Debbie.
the community.
Nice to you.
In terms of race and ethnicity,
You're doing-
socioeconomics,
it's
gender.
okay.
So we need to
You're welcome.
make sure that whatever subcommittee or whatever steering committee we pull together is truly representative of the community of Kent. I don't know what the right number of members for a steering committee is. I talking to Karen earlier today, I don't believe there was a steering committee pulled together last year when we started the master plan before COVID hit. And so our only frame of reference is whatever was done, I don't know, 20 something years ago in the 1990s. I can't even remember the date, but you know, that is old. I don't know whether there was a steering committee there. And even if there was, I don't know that we should be bound by something that was done 20 something years ago. So that's all up for discussion, and perhaps, Karen, we can make that a separate agenda item for next month's meeting, where we come, we suggest some names, we look at what names we have, and I've talked to one gentleman already who I think would be a good addition to a steering committee. So I'd encourage you to maybe not necessarily talk to people yet, but give some thought to names, and then we can put some names down on paper at the next meeting. Okay?
Sounds good.
Thanks, everybody. Welcome, Debbie.
Hey, thanks. Sorry, I slept through my alarm. I'm still post-oping after my knee,
I
so
figured. How did it go?
it went really well. I'm doing well, but I was a little ouchy, so I took some extra strength Tylenol and went to bed, and it really knocked me out, apparently.
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah. Are you weight bearing
Yeah.
yet?
Oh yeah, weight bearing, and I am up to 110 degrees. Thank you very much. I'm doing well.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Good job.
Usually that's the goal for 4 weeks out, and I'm there, so it's good.
Yeah.
But it's ouchy. There's no getting around that, you know.
Yeah.
A little
Been there,
ouchy.
done that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So we don't have any personal appearances. We don't have any incoming or outgoing correspondence. We don't have item A or B on the staff reports, monthly revenue and expenditures. Sam's not able to join us, so my assumption is we take the part report as written, and we accept that. Megan, are you in a position to give us the recreation report?
Yes, actually Karen and I put together the rec report together. So
Great, thank you.
yeah, basically everything you see here is a collaboration between Karen, myself, and all of our part-time rec staff right now. Garen is doing a lot of the sports programming. We try to be a little more specific with that so you guys could see numbers and leagues and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we started our art in the park meeting, so that included pretty much everybody in the department. So we're working on that, trying to find out more details on events upcoming in the summer and fall. Working with the health department. Heather is basically in charge of our fitness center right now. So she got me some specifics on that. We have a new salsa dancing class coming up. That was pretty cool. Our photo contest is up and going. That's Meryl. And then we met today as a group to plan our May newsletter. So we're getting that together right now. Meryl does that on Canva for us. So that'll go out soon.
Okay.
And then I did a little education piece to the recreation portion of the report. And just my usual, we have another babysitters training coming up, kids night out. Our preschool had some fun stuff going on. And we're, like Karen said, up and going with our summer camp registration. So today was the first day. It opened up to previous campers. It's been open for current preschool and before and after school families, and then it'll open to the public May 3rd. So that's been pretty popular, especially today. And the before and after school program is back to 4 days a week. That started that first week in April when the kids went back to school. So our numbers, pretty decent right now, but a lot of people are interested in next school year. So we're excited about that, hoping to go back 5 days a week. So.
Okay. And I know you've mentioned this. Oh, sorry, Megan.
It's okay.
Is that it? Can we ask questions?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned this previously, but I've forgotten. What are the COVID protocols in, the before and after school program, the kids
Before and
camp,
after.
like that?
Yeah. So we're taking temperatures. The kids wash hands upon arrival and departure. The staff do the same. We've split the kids up into small groups. So we've got, especially with a lot of kids in the afternoon, we have a small classroom and a big classroom, both at the rec and Davie.
Mhm.
We time the kids when they're washing hands. The parents have to obviously wear a mask when they enter, but they have there's a limited entrance area now. We don't let them in the actual classrooms, just the
Right.
first part of the lobby. The kids, when they play outside in different groups, they're playing in different areas, so they're not touching the same things. Sam's guys, actually, I don't know if he noted that in his report, they got some more plexiglass because with more kids, we have more kids seated at the tables. So he made some more of those dividers at the tables. So when the kids are seated and they have their masks off when they're eating snack, they're not right in front of each other. So yeah, and I'm still learning a little bit how they're doing the busing, because we will start going on field trips for the summer. 1 child per seat. They don't sit behind the driver. I've been working with James at the pool, like I had mentioned. That's going to be exclusively our group in the camps, so no, they're outside community members. And then our Friday field trips, we usually go to places like Wagon Trails, Pioneer, Birdie Shack. Those are all going to be outdoor trips this year instead of indoor. So, and we've made that available to the parents. We just said if they have any concerns about how we're planning camps and how it's going to be safe from COVID, to just email me, and I have a whole list for them. So
Definitely complicated it, hasn't it?
yeah, it takes a lot of time. I've told people for the past year we've had a lot less kids than usual, but it's so much more work to keep these protocols in place that it's like we may as well have our regular number of kids.
Yeah.
Constantly busy trying to just keep them safe. So
Yeah. Well, thanks for all that you're doing with that, and the rest of the staff. Pass that along from the board.
yeah, definitely, I'll let them know.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask, I know the Greater Akron Amateur Soccer Association very well, of course. What's the Ohio Travel Soccer League? Is that something more recently set up?
It is newer.
I was wondering the same thing, so thanks for asking, Steve.
Yeah. And I think in my mind that Gaza is more south, and I think the Ohio League is more towards Akron, Copley,
So
Hudson
it's not
area.
like up the next step up skill level.
No, I think they're comparable.
Okay.
So when I met with Nancy a few weeks ago, she was talking about a soccer league that was a bit of a tweener league between Parks and Rec and Gaza. And she referred to it as something that she had pulled together with, I think, Ravenna, Parks and Rec, and maybe one other. I'm not sure which. So that's not it. That's something else.
No, we call that our rec league, but we have Manaway, Ravenna, Holy Family, Brimfield, and one other community too that we're all playing. It's not as skill based as travel, but it is, playing more than just Kent teams, getting out and about.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just Googling it now, just out of interest.
I don't know if there's an official name for that. It's just our older kids travel. Portage County, maybe?
Huh.
Except for Stowe. Stowe's not in Portage County.
GASA covered age group starting, pretty young and went all the way through up to middle school, unless they went to one of the more elite squads at that time. I mean, I realize things have changed a lot since my kids were in.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether it does have a nice website, ohtsl.com. Jake, do you know anything about it?
That's what I was just gonna say. It's been a while since I've talked to Garen about it, but I know he was trying to push like those higher leagues, and I don't think that's like the premier travel leagues or whatever, but I thought it was a step up from GASA.
Okay.
I know my older daughter plays soccer. When she played, I think in the league you're talking about, it was still co-ed.
No, so that's not the league Garen was talking about. That,
Okay,
yeah.
but the only reason I'm saying that is because we would travel to like, what's the town before Hartville?
Lake.
When you're driving out 43, the little one, the
Suffield.
little tiny
Mogador?
Suffield, Mogador.
Suffield. We would go to Suffield and play
Suffield.
at a little park there. Then we would just play around, but it was co-ed still. Now, this last year, Carly, she's 10, but she plays travel, but it's the travel that, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, you only travel as long as the game would be. So we would travel to Nordonia, Shaker. It's a little bit more, and it's just girls. No.
Well, that's how GASA was. GASA was
Right.
very specific, and you didn't travel unless your team decided to join a tournament out of town.
Yeah.
But
It's
So I
almost
don't know
look-
if that co-ed one was what you're describing, just because we did play Holy Family. We played, different communities.
Yeah. So it almost looks like it was developed as a rival to Gaza. But there seem to be a lot of communities involved. Amherst, Ashland, Aurora, Austintown. The Gentiles are involved in Aurora, Avon Lake, Bay Village. Yeah, there's a lot, and they just do this alphabetically. So, yeah, I was just curious about that. Interesting.
I don't know if you, Karen or Megan, you might know this. Garen had talked about like he was trying to form like two upper teams that might travel into like different leagues. Was that within GASA or?
That'd be the OHSTL, TSL.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure like how that worked. It's been like probably a year since I've talked to Garen about that, but.
if you click through on some of the links, they reference US Club. I remember there being a travel, like a more elite that was US. It was called US, I thought. Maybe not. It wasn't, oh shoot, who's the one, Jake, that always was very, very elite?
The internationals or?
Internationals, right. It wasn't that, but it was like above GASA. And for some reason that when I saw US Soccer Club, I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Steve, I could invite Garen to the next meeting.
I was just curious. That's all. I mean, I can talk to Garen
Okay.
at any time just to find out a bit more about this. But just looking at the number of communities involved, this league is enormous. So I'm guessing they break it down. I'd have to dig a bit more on the website, and I might, they probably break it down geographically, I would imagine.
Carly's in the OHSTL.
Yeah. Okay.
TSL.
Yeah. ohtsl.com. Have a look at it if you want to have a look. Folks.
Yeah, I was kind of looking through it
Yeah,
too.
I'm curious about that too.
Yeah. It looks like it's headquartered, or at least you send your money to somebody in Solon. So maybe that's where it started. I don't know.
I'm looking at Carly's schedule right now, actually, and it says OTSL.
Yeah. All right.
And she goes to Twinsburg, Nordonia, Willoughby, Shaker. And we play Nordonia, Hudson,
Yeah,
Geauga.
that's a bit more widespread than Gassa. Gassa was Greater Akron soccer, so you might go as far as Wadsworth,
Right.
but not too much beyond that. So
Yeah. Well, that's encouraging then, because as I look at the recreation report and see that 3 of the travel teams play in Gaza and 8 are playing in the Ohio Travel Soccer League, it leads me to think that the OTSL is a level up from Gaza. So it's nice to see that, we've got 8 teams playing at that level,
yeah,
as well as 33 teams in the rec league.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, kudos to Garen for
that's right.
for getting that moving. All right. Well, thank you, Megan. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
No problem.
So we now Melanie is here. Hello, Melanie.
Hello. Sorry about that.
It's
It's been
okay.
a crazy day.
Few of us had that.
That's okay. We've zipped through this agenda pretty quickly because we've not had correspondence or personal appearances or revenue and expenditures to talk over, and so we've just completed the rec report, and now we're on to the interim director's report.
Sure. So
Timing.
just a quick report, bringing everybody up to date, and just so that we can have it out there. As far as the search for the Parks and Recreation Director, the board met on Monday, April 5th. There was a final review of our last 2 candidates. The candidates had an opportunity to tour the recreation, the city, Kent State University. They then had an opportunity to meet a few of the staff. After that, they were able to meet the city manager and the finance director. And then the board went into executive session at 2:45 in the afternoon to discuss this. They came out with a recommendation that was forwarded to HR. HR got through their process, and it will be going before council on Wednesday, April 21st. To finalize that, we do need council's approval to endorse that. And once that is passed, if everything goes well, our candidate will be able to start on Monday, the 26th. Again, I think this was an excellent process that everything went through. It was well thought out, well taken care of. The board did a great job to be able to look at the needs of the department, what they felt was really important. And then, of course, the extra attribute of allowing staff to be able to weigh in on that and share those things back and forth. I think it'll be really exciting once we can get this up and running. And I just think that the sky is the limit. So I'm very pleased to have been a part of that process. I thank you for letting me participate. And I encourage you, and I look forward to the growth of everything that will occur there.
Thank you. Thank you for all your help.
Good on.
Yeah, thanks for everything, Melanie.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure.
Melanie, at what point, if I can ask, at what point are we in a position to let staff know who the successful candidate is?
We will let them know on Thursday, the 22nd. I'm going to try and set up a meeting with them ASAP shortly after that.
Okay. Do we need to be at that or available for that council meeting on the 21st?
It'll be done in executive session. So I can't say for certain, but I believe I saw an email today because I haven't had a chance to go through all my emails. I think that memo has been sent to them with the name of the individual and all the items needed for that approval. Once they come out of that approval, they'll go ahead and vote, and that's when it'll be public.
Got it.
Perfect.
So having said that, I'm just going to report on a couple projects that are near and dear to the park. And the first one is Brady's Leap. That's the Portage Hike and Bike Trail. We are continuing to finalize the shop drawings. And next Monday, this coming Monday, the contractor will mobilize and be on site. It is still scheduled to be completed by September 1st. The one thing that was the most important that I really wanted to make sure we got out there is that this portion of the trail will be closed during the entire portion of the project. So there will be detour signs at each end of it and a detour route out and around so that people can get off of it and safely get back onto it. My recommendation will be to the new Parks and Director to begin establishing and setting up a date for a dedication of this before the weather turns too cold.
Mhm.
The second item that's kind of interesting, but I thought you guys might be really interested in it. I think there's a chance for both educational purposes, but also for us to make an event out of it. And that is the Chimney Swift project. If you haven't seen it, I attached the flyer
Yeah.
on it. If you aren't aware, the chimney swift is a bird that migrates south for the winter and back for the spring. And believe it or not, homes and nested itself inside of the chimney on top of the old police building. I've only seen it once, but it was very, very interesting to watch them come in, how they circle it, and then how they drop in. So at any rate, at the point when we knew we were going to be demolishing this building, we thought it would be sooner than this, but it's still up. So we went up and we actually closed the chimney because we needed to make sure that we kept them safe. So we're in the process right now of building this chimney for them. It'll be pretty cool. It's going to be located right next to the new police station, which I think is pretty interesting and pretty cool since they were in the old police station. But it's going to be pretty cool when it's developed, and it's going to be a nice little project. A lot of history there that I didn't know. It's actually on the seal. It's Kent State University. So it's a pretty big deal. So it'll be exciting to see that develop and be a part of what we do here, the uniqueness of Kent, Ohio. And the last item that I'm quickly just going to, again, bring this up, this is going to be a little pocket park right behind the police department. There was a small area up on a hill where there was more like wildflowers and overgrowth that was growing. We needed to do that in order to meet our LEEDs requirements. But one of the things we were able to do is go in and put in some walkways made out of stone, some standard bollard lighting, so it's down lighting, and we're going to actually install a couple hammocks up there. So I think 345
That's
Flats
lovely.
has been very excited about this, especially for their residents. But it's a unique location. There's a lot of college students that traverse this area. So I think it'll end up being kind of a popular little outdoor area during the school season for Kent State, but then even more so for those that are still around during the summer. But kind of a neat thing where, again, it's just something little, but it's another little park that, you know, you guys and we as the city will be able to take advantage of.
Has anybody else thought that this would be a great place for the students coming from downtown back to campus, fall into those hammocks and sleep the night away? Just saying.
Well, what better place? You know, if the police need to locate them, it's very close to home.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw this, I was cracking up. I'm like, perfect. It's just perfect.
And hopefully if they do fall asleep, at least they'll behave, given that they're right behind the police station, right?
Exactly.
Melanie,
In theory.
Melanie, I saw in your report that Rhonda Boyd, is it Boyd?
Yes.
Designed both of those. I've not met Rhonda,
Oh, she's
but
fun there.
you know, give her the thanks of the board, would you?
Yeah.
I
for
certainly will.
for her creativity and her skill set for you know, making these two projects come to life. I think it's small things like this that
That's
can
right.
make a nice difference. So you know, thanks to her.
I will definitely let her know that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Do we have any questions for Melanie? I
No,
don't know the typical length of a board meeting, but this has the possibility of being one of the shortest of the year, I suspect. But
It's pretty close. We did have one other time that was very short after a community meeting at Fred Fuller in the shelter house. And it was only short because John Idoni was busy answering questions inside. And so I was chair at the time. And so we pulled the group out and we ran through it like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But you're going to have my vote for staying in this position as long as you keep doing these kind of meetings.
I second that.
I'm only allowed to do 2 years, Neil. Then I think there's a hereditary thing that happens when the vice chair has to take over. I'm sure that's in the Constitution somewhere.
Somewhere. Yeah. That's funny.
All right.
Well done, sir. That's all I have to say. Well done.
Yeah. Is there any other questions for Melanie before we go?
No, just thank you so much.
Yeah. Melanie, we all appreciate you so much in stepping up, and you really lent, I think, just what we needed kind of in that spot for this interim. We appreciate it very, very much.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Karen, can we make sure the minutes reflect the sincere
Right.
thanks of the board for Melanie's work in being the interim Parks and Rec director, and certainly in addition to Woody, you know, guiding us through the entire process of looking for a new director. Melanie, I don't know if you're still on. I can't see you and your mic's off, but what I don't know is whether you'll be at the next meeting to complete the sort of transition to the new director, or is this the last time we'll share Zoom with you?
No, I'd like that opportunity to come back for one more meeting and just have that ability to introduce the new director and be able to kind of, if you will, pass the baton on. I don't plan on leaving, as I've shared with staff. I'm going to be here for a little bit longer. I want to make this transition as smooth as possible and as best as it can be. Again, I think our candidate is fully capable and definitely ready to take over the reins, no doubt about that. But, you know, sometimes it's nice to have that bridge, whether it's with the staff or with the new director, just to know that there's a door open if there's a question and we just don't know what to do with that. So I plan on doing at least that part behind the scenes. And it was my pleasure, honestly. This is what being a part of a team is. And our city is awesome. We have a great team, and my ability to step up and be able to participate in this is also due to my staff, who was able to pick up my slack and just do all of that different work, along with all of the other departments that were there to help if there was a question or concern. So again, I appreciate all those kind words. Thank you. But it really, truly was my pleasure to help us get through this portion, because it is really all about making Kent great. And I think we'll do that.
Yeah, I agree. All right then.
Well,
Sorry, I was muted. So, you know, I'll say thank you then. And if there are no other, please excuse dogs barking. I've got 3 of them in the house right now. And that's the youngest one. If there are no other, you know, thoughts to share, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
I'll move.
Thanks, Debbie. And a second.
I'll second.
Thanks, Kathleen. All right. And with that, everybody, I'll bid you a good evening.
See ya.
have a good
Yeah.
evening.
Everybody.
Jake, you
Thanks,
make
everyone.
your game?
Yep, 7 o'clock.
Awesome.
So I'm running a little bit
Alright.
late. I sent him a text though.
Good luck, Jake.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
everybody.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.